Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, Indiana football is officially bowl eligible. We'll tell you more about the continued dominance in the Big Ten.
And men's soccer comes from behind to get a 3-2 win over Kentucky. We have more from their comeback win. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Ryan Costello.
And I'm Grace Jeffer. So Ryan, are you excited for fall break?
I'm so excited for fall break, for a nice little time off. How about you?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I know Indiana football is too, and the Hoosiers advanced to 6-0 and moved up to the number 18th ranking in the country after defeating Northwestern 41-24 on Saturday. Our Thomas Crow has more.
Bowl eligibility in Evanston. The Indiana Hoosiers, less than a year removed from a 3-9 season, have advanced to 6-0 and hit the 6-win threshold necessary to become bowl eligible with a 41-24 victory over the Northwestern Wildcats. The team has also now won 3 Big Ten games this season, matching their Big Ten win total from the last 3 seasons combined. The game started similar to how almost all games have this season for the Hoosiers, by dominating the first quarter. Coach Signetti spoke about this in his post-game press conference.
Well, gosh, if we had every quarter like the first quarter, we'd probably be ranked higher in the polls, wouldn't we? We haven't given up a point in the first quarter, right?
Curtis Rourke continued his stellar season, throwing for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns with no turnovers. The wide receiver room continued to show their depth this week as well, with 8 different players catching passes and 3 different touchdown scores. Justice Ellison, Tyson Lawton, and Kalen Black combined for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns on 29 carries on the ground. Rourke had to say this about the offense postgame.
The receiver room is one of the deepest in the country. We have one of the best running back rooms in the country, and so put that together with the O-line and the way they're playing, I mean, that's why we'll be able to put up so many points.
Jack Loesch had 243 yards and 2 touchdowns in the loss as the Hoosiers sacked him twice. This was, however, the second straight week that the Hoosiers failed to force a turnover. Here in Martin Stadium, where the Indiana Hoosiers were loud today, the fans wearing their cream and crimson all over the stadium, it was felt throughout the entire game. Now heading back to Bloomington, the Hoosiers will have a bye this upcoming week before the Nebraska Cornhuskers come into Memorial Stadium for the homecoming game. The Hoosiers will head into that game ranked and undefeated. From Martin Stadium here in Evanston, Illinois, I'm Thomas Crow for IUSTV Sports.
The Hoosiers will take some much-needed time off this weekend on their bye before Nebraska visits for homecoming.
The Indiana men's soccer team defeated the Kentucky Wildcats Tuesday night 3-2 for our first time since 2019. Our Josie Royals has the recap.
The Hoosiers earned their first win against Kentucky since 2019, defeating the Wildcats 3-2.
Every season has games that you look back, and we don't have that ability to do that yet. But I'm very confident we can do some special things this year, and this would be that game. Where we are in the season, an important win that we needed to come from 2 behind and play really well.
IU senior forward Tommy Mahalik scored 2 of 3 of IU's goals in Tuesday night's game, making him have 8 goals now this season. He leads Indiana in career-high goals.
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, the team comes first, but when I can score, I know it gives us a huge chance to win, and I'll try to keep doing it.
The score was tied, but Michael Nessie's late 85th minute strike overcame the equalizer and clinched a 3-2 win for IU.
And it's hard because when you're tired, to keep things on frame and that final pass is difficult. And so that's why Nessie, his time was ready. I'm glad that he had that confidence.
It's that belief, and these are the wins, these are the games that could truly turn your season around or carry you far. So I'm really proud of the team. It feels unreal.
The Hoosiers will be back this Friday at Bill Armstrong Stadium to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. With IUSTV Sports, this is Josie Broyles.
The Hoosiers will be back this Friday to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions here in Bloomington at Armstrong Stadium.
The Indiana field hockey team started off their 2-game weekend with a tough loss to 4th-ranked Maryland. The Hoosiers were held scoreless, losing 3-0 as Maryland dominated not only in penalty corners, but also shots on goal. Indiana stayed home to face another Big Ten opponent in Rutgers, and Indiana won in dramatic fashion as forward Mayantia Hagan tied the game at 3-3 to send it to overtime. Sophomore forward Inez Garcia Pardo won the game for the Hoosiers to conclude her hat trick.
That's a free shot on goal. You got to really think about that as, you know, your opportunity. If you miss it, it gets saved. You're not going to get every goal, but just get that confidence to get it on goal and see what happens.
The Hoosiers are now 4-6 on the season and will travel to Iowa City to play Iowa this Friday.
Coming up after the break, we crown this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And volleyball remains undefeated at home. We'll have more on their successful homestand. You're watching Hoosier Sports Nite.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Nite.
Joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is IUSTV sports reporter Sam Heiser. Sam?
Thanks, guys. A hat trick against a Big Ten opponent in Rutgers leads to Inez Garcia Prado being this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week. Her third goal that led to this hat trick, it was an unassisted game winner in overtime to edge out the Scarlet Knights 4-3 at home here in Bloomington. This is her 6th goal of the season. The sophomore midfielder from Madrid is looking to build off of this game upcoming on Friday against another Big Ten matchup in Iowa City. That's it for this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week. Back to y'all at the desk.
Indiana volleyball hosted the Ohio State Buckeyes this past Sunday at Wilkinson Hall, continuing their Big Ten win streak. Our IUSTV sports reporter, Victoria Remrev, has the recap.
The Indiana Hoosiers fought hard to keep their undefeated record at home, becoming 7-0, the best home start in program history. They started off strong in the first set against the Buckeyes, with Costello leading the way with powerful kills, helping IU secure an early lead. Ohio State struggled defensively, allowing Indiana to close the set 25-15.
We know our offense always comes up at the end, and even in the beginning, I mean, they've been holding such a huge load for us. So for us littles in the back, we're just trying to put them in the best position that they can.
In set 2, Indiana started off a little rocky, allowing Ohio State to find some momentum, but the Buckeyes' service errors allowed Indiana to make a comeback. OSU was strong on the net blocking, but IU rallied thanks to key kills from Maddie Saras and following through defensively to wrap up a critical victory in set 2.
Didn't think we were great in 2, 3, or 4. Though we were fortunate to win game 2. So fortunate might be the word of the day.
Going into set 3, there were a lot of high stakes from both teams as Indiana needed a win for a clean sweep and OSU laying everything on the line to stay in the fight. Emily Londa was a key player for the Buckeyes with 23 kills.
She's a fantastic volleyball player. So much of the pregame was if we can limit her, we'll have a chance to win.
IU's struggle this season has been their ability to close, and OSU continued to hold on, taking the set 25-23.
You're never as good as you are when you win. You're never as bad as you think when you lose. It's always in the middle.
Both teams came out swinging offensively, but IU was able to capitalize off Ohio State's continued trend of service errors. There was also a lot of challenges during this set, breaking the flow of a crucial game.
For us, after they give us information and the keys, we kind of just take a moment to breathe. And like she said, sometimes you got to crack a joke. You guys just got to keep it light because at the end of the day, that's when we play our best volleyball is when we're smiling and staying light.
Indiana secured the last set 25-22 to take the win.
We've got some really talented kids. If we can get them all firing at the same time, I think we'll be a pretty good team. But we've got a really tough stretch now. You know, we play 4 matches in a row against ranked teams, 3 of the 4 on the road. And that's the nature of the conference.
Indiana women's soccer played their 3rd and final match in their latest road trip. They were in Iowa City, Iowa to go toe-to-toe with the number 20th ranked Hawkeyes. Both Indiana and Iowa started slow offensively with only a combined 10 shots in the first half. The teams would go into halftime tied 0-0. IU senior keeper Jamie Gerstenberg was able to earn 2 saves among the 6 shots that flew her way. The second half picked up for Iowa. They scored to break the draw in the 73rd minute. Graduate forward Maya Henson struck one into the bottom left corner to give Iowa the 1-0 lead and hold on to win over 1-0 over the Hoosiers. Van Menacom and the team are looking ahead to the Golden Boot match.
Yeah, I think the first couple years I was here, I just see them take that trophy every time and celebrate it like they won a World Cup, right? So, and we, to be fair, we kind of did the same thing last year.
So it just means a lot, and I think it's a trophy, and it just means a lot to our players, to I think our support and our staff. So yeah, it just means a little bit more. It's like a game in itself.
After the road trip, Indiana's record sits at 6-5-1 with a conference record of 1-5. They host Purdue for the Golden Boot Trophy tonight at 7.
Big Ten Men's Basketball Media Day was in full swing last week in Chicago. Our Kara Adams got some time with our new transfer, Miles Rice. Take a look.
Hello from Big Ten Media Day in Chicago. I'm Kara Adams here for IUSTV Sports alongside Miles Rice. And Miles, your first season for the Hoosiers is officially underway. How special is it to represent IU here today at Big Ten Media Day?
It's amazing. It's a great honor. I'm happy that Coach Wilson, he chose me to come out here alongside with Trey Galloway. I think he chose me because I'm one of the captains, one of the leaders on the team. And it's just unbelievable that in my first season I get to go out here and represent IU in the best way possible.
You had a breakout season at Washington State last year. How will you continue that success and help IU be successful this season?
Just staying true to me, just being the kid that I was before I went through my cancer process and after, and just trying to encourage my teammates, understanding the things that I have to get better in, but putting the team first always. And I think that's important not only for myself, but everybody on the team to keep putting the team first, and then individual success comes after that.
You mentioned your cancer process, and your journey to get here has been harder than most people's. What got you through that time?
Just my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He put me down a path that only I was supposed to go down, and I can do nothing but thank him for that and give him the praise, because without that, who knows where I would be today. But just trying to just give thanks to him, because without that, I would have never been in the position that I am now. So just being grateful for every opportunity that I get to go out here and not even just play basketball, but just take it day by day, living life, and just trying to stay true to me and do the things I can in the best way possible.
How did going through something like that get you to who you are today as a person?
It just shows me a lot of determination, just knowing that if I can get through that, I really can get through anything else in life. And just remember to appreciate the little things. You never be too good to speak to somebody or make somebody's day better. So I think those kind of traits and characteristics I bring onto the court. So it's like I'm always want to be that guy that has a smile on his face, bringing energy and just making everybody's day easier. So that means on the court or off the court, that's what I'm going to do.
You mentioned that you've already been named a captain and it's your first year here. What did that mean to you when you found that out?
It just felt good. Just being a captain is something I've kind of been like my entire life and on like every team that I've played on growing up. So I'm very comfortable in being in that position. Still trying to learn the offense and the style of play and everything that Coach Wilson wants us to do. But at the same time, he trusted me to go out there and lead guys and make plays and get guys on the same page.
Well, and lastly, Miles, how do you want to continue to grow personally off the court this season?
I would just say I'm going to get into reading a little bit more. Just, me and my mom, we pick a book out every month, and then we have like a little daily conversation about it. But as far as outside of that, just continue to be a better person each and every day. I want to be somebody who, if you only interact with me one time, you're going to remember that for the rest of your life. So that's really big for me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Miles. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Joining us in studio for this week's Candy Stripe calendars, IUSTV sports reporter Darion Watson. Darion?
Thanks, guys. Indiana Athletics has a busy fall break. Let's take a look at what's coming up. To start us off on Friday, the men's soccer team looks to pick up another Big Ten win as they take on the Penn State Nittany Lions at Bill Armstrong Stadium at 7. Also that night, women's volleyball takes on Minnesota at 7:30, looking to extend their win streak to 3 games. On Saturday, the women's field hockey team takes on Mammoth in Iowa City, Iowa at 3 o'clock. To wrap up the weekend, the women's soccer team takes on Wisconsin at Bill Armstrong Stadium at 1, looking to hand them their 4th conference loss of the year. Also at 1, women's volleyball looks to take on Penn State here at Wilkinson Hall, looking to extend their home win streak to 8 games. That's all I have for you on this week's Candy Stripe calendar. Back to you at the desk.
And that's our show for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports to keep up with all the latest in IU athletics. For our production crew behind us, I'm Ryan Costello.
And I'm Grace Jeffer. We'll see you next week.